Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss with you about the transport business, doing a transport business. And as you know, my attention has to do with businesses in Ghana. This can be applied in other African countries or wherever, but primarily I'm talking about doing transport business here in Ghana. So if you are someone who is interested in moving into the transportation industry, the business, you are thinking about it, this is a video for you. Now, the first thing you need to know is that the transportation industry is very big. Okay, it's very big, and I'm going to just narrow down to a very small segment of it. Okay, because I want to talk about the practicality and things that are of concern to you. So, as I said, in terms of transportation business, when it comes to the use of vehicles, we have the one you use for the transportation of goods and the one you use for the transportation of people. I'm still narrowing down and I'm focusing broadly on the latter one, which is the transportation of people. The transportation of people. As and when you're interested in me talking more about in terms of if you want me to throw more light when it comes to the transportation of goods, in terms of logistics and stuff, you comment down there, and based on the feedback I would bring some education and light to that. Okay, so I'm talking about the transportation of people from one place to the other. In other sense, the church, the taxi, and the Uber business. Okay, so now that this thing is said and done, there are things that you need to know. This is an industry that, when it is properly done, would bring you a lot of income, and more importantly, it is a type of sector that most of the business, when you are making income, there are two broad kinds of income. We have the passive income, then we have the active income. Passive incomes are income that comes to you without you being so much actively involved in it. Okay, you have to be involved heavily in it to to make money. And then we have the active income, which is the type of income that comes to you when you have to be actively actively engaged in the activity in order to generate an income. Transport business is one of those businesses that I will classify as in terms of a passive income generating business, especially if you are not the one going to do the driving and stuff. Okay, so if you're not the one going to do the driving, then it means that you will not be directly involved in the day-to-day operation of the business. You buy the vehicle, you assign the vehicle to a driver, okay, and the driver will go do sales and return to you with the sales based on the agreed daily amount that is supposed to be done. Okay, so the first thing I need you to know and note down is the fact that this is a business that is capital intensive relative to other businesses. This business requires a lot of money for you to start it. I talked to you about the fact that when you are going into business, start it small. There is a reason for it. But the transport business is one of those businesses, when you are going into it now, require a lot of money. Okay, currently speaking, when you want to buy just a van, let's say a Toyota Hiace, you need over 100,000 Ghana cedis, somewhere between 150,000 Ghana cedis, in order to just get an home use vehicle to use it. Because a business that, when you are going into it, I would encourage you not to move into the Ghana used cars and stuff. When you go in that direction, you're having a lot of problems. If you decide to go into the transport business, the first thing is that you should know that it will require a significant amount of money from you. the vehicle that you want to buy, you should buy at least the home used vehicles, the one that has been imported into the country that has not been used within the country. Okay, these are the vehicles that you need to buy if you want to be successful in it. The second thing I need you to know is the fact that it is a very high risk business. It is a very high risk business that you need to know, that you don't have to go into it blindly. Okay, because there are a lot of variables when it comes to this business. Because it's a business that is done on the road. Okay, you are not the one doing the business. You assign the vehicle to a driver who drives the vehicle. What you say? The way I will be car and yes, I'm a driver and be car. Trust me, when you use your over 150,000 Ghana cedis to buy a van and you're driving it now, you will know how to drive it. And your portal will be an audio car and a boom. And then you carbon and also what you be riding like you be driving, because you know how much you have invested into that car, and you know in terms of what your expectations are when it comes to that business. And because you're not the one involved in it, and you have handed a vehicle that you have spent so much money into, there are a lot of variables when it comes to transport business, things that are not within your control. Okay, there are many things in the transport business that are not within your control. So that's why I'm saying that it's a very high risk business. And there are many Ghanaians who are into the business. They are doing well and they are flourishing in that sector. But these people are not doing it out of ignorance. They know there is a high risk in that business, and then they have taken the necessary steps when it comes to the business. So let me share with you my experience in the transport business. Yeah, because I've been in the business before. When I was doing my national service, where I was working, I was getting a lot of tips and stuff, and with some small money that I had gathered and stuff and whatever. I decided to go and purchase a vehicle, okay, which I was supposed to use. I was going to use for a taxi business. The understanding was the fact that I don't know how long it's going to take for me to, in terms of gain employment. Okay, at least when I have the taxi now, the one working for me every day, the person will be doing some sales for me. Okay, so I wouldn't even know. I acquired the vehicle, and after acquiring it, I did a lot of calculations. I did a lot of research on it. And I say, when I start now, every day the person will do based on the vehicle I was using, and the daily sales in the market. At least when the person does 40 cedis at that time, that was around 2011, 2012, that area. When the person does these 40 cedis a day, currently let's take maybe 150 cedis or something a day, Charlie, even if I spend about 60 cedis, 70 cedis a day, the other one can save it and use it for ABC. So, Charlie, when I did the maths, Charlie, it was a wonderful business. I was so enthused about this, Charlie. So I was good. I was good to go. So I acquired a vehicle, and I handed it over to a friend of mine who was into the business. Now this is what happened. Medical man, just within a week, he was involved in an accident. He was involved in an accident, and the car named him as the windscreen and the bonnet and stuff, the water tank and stuff, they were all damaged. So just imagine, Masa, this thing I'm telling you, you have no idea. Just imagine you spending almost all your life savings to buy a vehicle, and then how do you call it? Just within 1 week, you hear of an accident. and then I had to go and do the repairs and stuff. Okay, because I had no option. I had to go and do the repairs. So I did the repairs. It took about 2-3 weeks for all these things to be done, and then he started work again. And honestly, he did for almost about 2 weeks, I got 3 weeks, everything was fine. Then there was another accident. Okay, there was another accident, Charlie, Charlie, it was crazy for me. Another accident. So I had two main accidents within a period of just 1.5 months, and I had no option. I had to go and refer. So that my little savings now can I had to gather them and go and fix the vehicle and put it into order. But when that thing was done, after I realized that the car was not in good condition as it used to be. Okay, because this accident, it has weakened the car. Today this, tomorrow that, today this, and there's this thing wrong, tomorrow there's this thing wrong and stuff. Okay, see, I won't say now the Juma now, most of the money was going to repairs, and trust me, it was a very difficult time for me. And some and I had just completed university at the age of around 25, 24, 25, that area. No, I think around 26 that year, because now I completed, now I'm done with my service and I was not looking for a job. So let's say 26 that area. And actually things were difficult. After that, even aside that, now when he leaves home around 4 o'clock at dawn, and then later around 12:01 he will call, say there's a police at Chino, and there's a flat tire, there's problem here, there's problem there. Every day there's a story. Every day. Sometimes you will work in the week, there will not be any problem. Then somewhere around Friday, maybe Saturday, he will call that there's a problem that we have to go and fix. And you realize sometimes the previous weeks cannot happen. I have to bring all the money back and add some money in my savings to go and do that repairs. Okay, and to be honest, no, I lost interest in the business. I lost interest and I was so stuck. Okay, and that's why I have been saying in my videos, so business is not for the faint of heart. Okay, it is not for the faint of heart. The best thing you can do for yourself is to move into business. Okay, when you do that and you do it the right way, you will be blessed. Okay, in my videos, I know some of you will be wondering, is he a rich man? He's talking like a rich man. What does he have and whatever? That's not what's important. Okay, the most important thing you can buy for yourself, that massa people are yearning for, is freedom. It is not about the big house you are living in and this big car you are driving in and the expensive cars that you are driving, whatever. It is about freedom in life. This is something that I have, and this is something that I can boast of. I'm a free man. I wake up when I want to wake up. I sleep when I want to sleep. I actually drive a Toyota Vitz. That is the car that I drive. When you see me, you will see me as just one of you. I wear the normal clothes. I'm not a rich person, but for this I have freedom. Eventually I will be a rich man, but what I have is what I'm communicating to you, and that is my greatest desire for all Ghanaians. Master, my interest is not for you to be driving big cars and staying in big houses, but my interest is a time should come that you should be free to live life as you truly want it, to be able to stay with your kids, to go on holidays with them, to spend time with them, to be where you want to be, how you want to be. Okay, let me not be distracted and let me come back to what I'm communicating. Yeah, so there was this time that my driver told me that he was traveling and he'll be away for about 4 or 5 days. Okay, so let's say that for a particular week, he told me that he was traveling and then he will not be available for that week. So the car was parked in the house. So one of the days, I decided to visit my sister, and then of course I moved the vehicle. It was a taxi. Okay, so when I moved the vehicle, I was heading to the direction of my sister. Now I was stopped by a passenger who was also moving to somewhere around that area. So I took them. When I was done, she paid me, and I went to my sister. We spent some time over there. Okay, I spent about 2 hours something over there. When I was done, I was returning. Somebody also stopped me and took me to somewhere around Osu. Okay, and from Osu, when I was coming, somebody also took me and brought me back to Spintex, which is where my sister was living. And from there, I came home. This whole thing lasted for about 2.5 to 3 hours. And after finishing just these 3 trips, I made even more than the money that the driver was supposed to make for me the whole day. I made just within, let's say, 3 hours. I made that amount of money that the driver was supposed to have made the whole day that I was not getting. Okay, so I became a bit curious. I said, it looks like there's something in this business that I'm not seeing. Initially I had lost interest in the business. So the following day I said, okay, the driver is not around. I'm in the house. I'm not doing anything. Okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm in the house. So let me see this thing for what it is. So in the morning I set off around 4 o'clock as he does. Okay, in the morning, if you have done transport business, like the taxi and the trotro, at dawn you see the market women and people traveling. They have their goods and items. Hope a drop-in is this is the best time to get those drop-ins in. So I had a lot of drop-ins. There was a time I even had one that took me to somewhere around Makati Hills and stuff. And when I was coming, I had another one that took me to La Paz. Another one took me to somewhere around back to Osu. Then later I had to drive home. And just within the morning session, which took me starts from the morning around 4 o'clock at dawn to somewhere around 8, somewhere around 10, 11, that area. I had that time that the sales was around 40 cities, but now I had made around 65 cities just with those trips. Then I realized the transport business was good. Okay, but I think the problem was the fact that I didn't understand the business. Okay, so I continued for the week that he was not available, but when he came, I decided I wasn't going to give the vehicle back to him again. I know some of you were raising issues. So when the accident happened for the first time and whatever, why didn't I was young, I was inexperienced. I told you I just completed the university. Looking back, there are many things I would have done differently, and that is what I'm transferring to you. So I would encourage you to exercise the patience and listen to the things that I'm saying. They are not entertaining, but they are transfer of wisdom to you. Yeah, so I continued the business until finally I had employment in the financial sector that I said I was involved in, until I had the business over there. But even after getting the business, and I was combining to a time that I couldn't combine it, I had to sell the vehicle. Okay, so this is one thing I need you to pay attention to. I'll come back to it. Whilst I was working in the financial sector, the businesses that we were dealing, those who were into the transport business, majority of them, when you take 10 people involved in it, you get between 8 to 9 individuals who were experienced in the business, in the transport business in one way or the other. Many of them had been drivers themselves. They have been trotro drivers. Some of them have done taxi businesses and stuff. And out of the business that they were doing, they had acquired other vehicles, and through that they have established a transport business whereby some of them are having 10, 15, 20, and the high one having over 60 to 70 cars, the other one having about 35 cars in different forms and shapes. Okay, but one thing that is common to most of the people I saw is the fact that they were not ignorant about the business. they knew and then they understood the transport business because they have been doing the business for years. So when they pick you as a driver and you are doing the job now, you are not doing it in a way, or you come and tell them something that they do not already know. They know the ins and outs, the tricks in the business. Omunim tricks nina, omunim ejumano, ejumano munim no. There is nothing that you, the driver, you are bringing and come to say that they themselves have not been involved in it. And it's such people that prospered in the business. When you listen to my story, you realize that I started it very young. I was very ignorant. I didn't know the business. I didn't understand the business. All I knew was the fact that I had some money and I bought a vehicle and I gave to a gentleman. I did my calculations and then he was supposed to bring sales to me. But it was when I began to drive the car myself that I now began to see the business for what it is. I lost interest in the business, but when I began to do it myself now, my friend, I realized that it is a very, very good business. Now, so this is my advice to you if you want to move into a transport business. My recommendation number one, it is better you do the business yourself. When you are doing transport business yourself, so you get a lot of money. You get a lot of money. Master, forget about that degree in the office or not. Okay? If the driver said, driver no you can make sales around 300 cedis. And trust me, they can make as much as 500, 600 cedis a day. Let's even see, say, they make 500 cedis a day. After omo fuel and everything, they have taken their fuel and whatever out of it, they make around 500 cedis a day. And then they give you, how do you call it, your sales of 300 cedis. Ebeka 200 cedis for them to share. So assuming say you are the one driving the car yourself, and then out of the 500, you give your mate, let's say 100 cedis. Okay? Out of the 500, you give your mate, let's say 100 cedis a day. And then car number for 300 cedis. And then you also take 100 cedis. Now in effect, 400 cedis is coming to you a day. 400 cedis a day, you calculate here in a month, you'll be making almost getting to 10,000 Ghana cedis when you are driving your own car all day. If the worst case scenario, you will be making almost 10,000 Ghana cedis when you are riding your own trotro. Okay, you have a lot of bank managers and big men in these countries who are not even earning up to 10,000 Ghana cedis. But just what you say. Okay. So that is my first recommendation to you if it is possible for you to move into the business yourself. That's the ideal situation because trust me, car no, when are you investing almost 200,000, 150,000 to buy that car? The cars are very expensive, very, very expensive. You invest over 150,000, 200, some are even 250,000 Ghana cedis to buy a car. You see, on a Sprinter is very expensive. So if what's the main situation I was talking about now? I could, because I was in the house, I was not doing anything. I could have decided to do the business myself. But I had drained now because to me I was a university graduate. A university graduate is a military taxi ahead. But I forget. But now, no, I've seen a lot of people. There was a time I met a JCB bank manager. I picked a taxi and he was the one driving the taxi. He got to know because now I was returning and we were having a discussion in the car and one thing led to another, and I think that's why he realized I was also in the same sector and stuff, Okay, it was then that he made me to understand, said taxi now what he's about to hand it over to a gentleman, but he needed understanding about the sector. He needed real understanding about the sector. So Oji leave. He took 3 weeks leave. As that 3 weeks, and he was He was actually doing the business himself. He was doing the runs, and it was one of those runs that me fan, no. And trust me, some when you want to do business and do one, you have to descend from that high hustle and come low. Master, in the car, no, I just I just saw him as an ordinary person, and he was just ordinary, like the way the normal taxi drivers are dressed. You know, he was just there doing his business. Who cares? But after that 3 weeks, you know, he would hand over the vehicle to the driver who is going to drive that car, and now he's going to manage that driver. But he's not managing that driver from a point of ignorance, as I did in my earlier days when I entered into transport business. But rather, he's managing the driver based on knowledge. He had the experience and knowledge as he would have gotten if he had moved into the sector full time, like the way the others I'm talking about who we worked with, you know. But he is not an ignorant man, and he will be in a better situation to manage the business effectively. Okay, so my friend, for those of you who want to move into transport business, because I saw it in the comment, that's why I'm discussing about transport business. It's a good industry. Trust me, it's a good industry. It's a very good line of business that you can move into. But trust me, it's not a business that I will encourage you to go into until you are willing to learn it. You have to learn it. And this is not a sector that you will learn about it by reading. Yeah, you read some more, you ask some more, but you have to do it yourself. If it is Uber business that you want to do, my friend, after buying the car. Okay, so now follow this recommendation. Follow this recommendation. First of all, buy the car, and the car that you are buying, make sure that you buy a home use car. Buy a home use car. I'm not advising you to buy Ghana used car. Ebema problems. Buy, it's a business that you are going into. It's a business that is a sector that requires a lot of money. So if it's what you want to go into now, buy a good car. Americano, buy a home use car. I am stressing on that. Now, secondly, make sure you do a comprehensive insurance. Don't move into transport business unless you are willing to do a comprehensive insurance. You are doing it because you have invested over 150, 200, 250, sometimes even 300,000 Ghana cedis, sometimes even 500,000, depending on whether you want to buy a bus, a Chocho, Uber, or what. Some of the cars are very expensive. Trust me. After buying the home use car, make sure you do a comprehensive insurance. Master, forget about the 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 that you are going to pay for the insurance company. When you buy it now, trust me, okoda obetimi ada. As I make catch you know, don't move into transport business and spend over 200,000 without doing a comprehensive insurance on your car. Now, there are many cars that are not comprehensive insured at Chocho business, but these cars are owners no ateti omoka area. After you do the comprehensive insurance for 1 year, 2 years, now you have been able to retrieve the money that you spent in getting in acquiring the van or whatever. No? After you have gotten your money back and you don't want to move into comprehensive insurance, just move into third party insurance. Because a Jato car is involved in an accident or whatever now, you have gotten your money back already. But until you get your money back, make sure you do comprehensive insurance. My friend, a quintessential driver in Namno, there are many things that can happen. So make sure you do that. Now, after you are done with the comprehensive insurance, if you're a salary worker, make sure, or whatever, or I'm an or whatever, if you are brochure or whatever, please, if you're not willing to come down, then don't start a transport business. Calm down. Say, calm down. Say, who are you know what to can the car? Be see feeling your man wants a bra, and come and ride the car. Be tricker on yourself. Me catch you say a GCB manager crampo 8 tricker. Me say, brand be tricker no. Come and drive the car yourself. Say Uber no. Say yeah Uber no for about 1 month. 3 weeks, 1 month, or whatever. Do that business. It is a very high risk but high rewarding sector. Inti sa church na opesa or yan after buying the car and doing comprehensive insurance, no. Masa, do the business yourself. At least for a month. Forget about what people will say. The catch was a bakery business now I started here, and I started by selling and retailing bread by the roadside in front of a gutter. Masa, I was in my office attire and I was selling bread. Masa, in business, don't bring your pride into business. Do it yourself. After doing it for 1 month or whatever, no, trust me, you'll gain some understanding about the business because you need it. I'm talking to people who are serious in business and they want to make it. These things, make sure you start to turn bread from the beginning in your man by the roadside. Right now, I'm not doing the same thing again. It was just for a moment. I just did it for a moment. You see, and I'm sorry, I've not gone anywhere. And I'm in Uber. It's almost around 11, 12. I've not stepped out of my house. I'm in the house. So the sacrifice I'm here beginning, it was to ensure my success. Sana Mekacha will say, those who are doing transport business and they have the experience because they have done the business themselves. When you don't have any experience in the transport business, you only have the resource to buy a car. And Mekacha will say, when you buy it now, do comprehensive insurance. When you are done with the comprehensive insurance now, make sure say you drive the car, the business, if it's Uber, if it's a taxi, if it is a church or business or whatever, no, make sure you do the business at least for a month. You will gain some knowledge and insight that you will not be able to gain until you do the business yourself. After the 1 month is done, you can now then hand over the car to whoever you have chosen. Trust me, when you do that, you understand the business in ways that matter. Back and forth, because the car you understand the car that the person is using it. You will know the issues with the car. When you're managing your business, you manage it well. What you say? My friend, do it this way. And trust me, you will succeed and make a lot of money. I will now encourage you to subscribe to this channel. This is a channel that is purely designed to encourage Ghanaians to establish businesses. My friend, there is a certificate issues no. Masa bukulongo no embwa. Bukulongo no embwa. Hey, those who are making the most money in this country, and go for trust me, sir. Masa, I know of a customer. SS certificate peno okra 1 car van, 1 church or a fence and sprinter. Sika or make it in a month, no. Who degree personality officer why you won't go time watches you? He makes more than that. What I say? If you are not willing to go beyond that certificate, you will not go anywhere. Must calm down so that you can be lifted. What I say? I want you to do well. Myself, I'm pushing myself to do well. What I say, but I know where I used to be, and maybe I'm a one now, and I know where I want to get to. The book long to aside. If you want to do this business, make sure say you learn the job first, and then you will succeed. Please subscribe to this channel, like and comment. And also make sure that all the videos that have been shared, several resources and wisdom has been shared on this platform. I have over 30 videos that have been shared. They are essential to you. It is me transferring wisdom and knowledge to you. Please make sure you listen to them and understand them. Some of you, when you come now, you don't have the patience. Open them, I should go straight to the point in your mind. No. There are some of you who are very smart. Okay, you are very smart and you just pick 1 or 2 issues. But I'm talking to the ordinary Ghanaian. The ordinary Ghanaian. The ordinary Ghanaian. These are the people. I'm just trying to frame your mind. Okay? So, see